What about what's your opinion about the new modern musical vehicles like iTunes, MySpace, and so on? What's the importance of these vehicles today?
I think they're all. Pretty well. They're all important now, like it or not, and I think most of them are pretty good and pretty good fun. I think one of the things I think's really been important for our band is that without MySpace or Facebook, our band has a fan base across the entire world. We have fans in Colombia, Mexico, North America, Canada, Spain, Italy, Germany, Greece. You know, a friend of mine was over in China and he found our album on sale by a little guy who was selling on the street. But we wouldn't have that fan base without the internet being able to open it. This is getting loud. Without being able to open us up to that kind of worldwide market. And so I think it is really important. I think one bad side of it is, is sometimes I wish people, I think fans, I don't know what it's like in Italy, but in Britain, there's a lot of illegal downloading goes on. And I don't want to sound preachy about it, but I think people presume that people like us have already made a lot of money. We haven't. I am not even slightly rich. And I'm not asking to be rich, but I think fans should support the things they like, and by supporting them, do come and see us play live. And if you can afford to buy a T-shirt, and if you like our album, download it for free if you want. But when you can afford to buy it, if you like it, that is. I mean, if you don't like it, then never mind. But if you like it and you can afford to buy it, buy it, and then it'll maybe enable us to record another one, if you know what I mean. But all the other sides of it, I think are great. I think the ability to kind of communicate with your fans as well is great. We all personally look after the MySpace, so if someone asks us a question or sends us a comment, we write back personally, and I think that's really good fun, and I really enjoy that, and it kind of enables us to meet people and keep in contact with people, and I think that's a great thing.
Maybe isn't this a little bit dangerous, because a lot of bands, also little bands, get a huge success in a short time.
Yeah, I suppose so. Did you hear that? No.
Too many noise.
It's a lot. It's very noisy. Yeah, I do think that's a problem. Especially in Britain, there seems to be a culture of debut albums, but I don't really think that that's to do with the internet. I think that's to do with the media, like magazines and television programs. They are interested in keeping readers and keeping people coming and turning over units of their magazine, and then to do that, they constantly have to have a fresh product, a new face, and a new band. And so they keep it moving around really, really quickly. I think the internet actually gives bands a longer length of life, because if people are interested in the band, they can constantly get the information for it. And I think bands can make up their own. We try and, when we're on tour, make little tour videos, and we blog and we Twitter, and we try and keep in contact with our fans that way. And so I think in that way we kind of prolong the connection with people. They can, rather than it only be, they can only contact the band when we happen to be in a newspaper or a magazine that they're buying. They can constantly keep in contact. I think it's the magazines that have kind of kept it going round. I mean, they're important, but sometimes I think it is a bit bad that you kind of just have bands just getting to make one album, and then if their second album's not as good as their first album, they're just kicked away, which is a shame, because really most of the bands that that we like, it was, I mean, Larry always says this, I mean, his favorite bands were, it was their third or fourth album before they made it, so.
No, I pretty much don't like any bands who became big after the first album. Most of like, all of the best bands in history didn't make it big until, like, their third or fourth album. Sometimes even later than that, Apart from the Jesus and Mary Chain, they were the only band. But even like, like the Rolling Stones, or even the Beatles, or U2 or whatever, none of them were really that big after the first album.
Yeah, it takes a while. So I mean, it's a shame, but I don't, as I said earlier, I wouldn't blame the internet for that. I think there's other reasons for that happening. But I think the internet might change that, and I think the whole industry is changing because of the internet. Our record company at the moment is mainly a digital-based company, and the way that they operate seems to be a lot more kind of free-flowing rather than kind of having, you know, albums and then releasing them. They're kind of like constantly, the idea is to kind of constantly keep sort of feeding things out. And I don't know. The future of music for all bands is going to be interesting, to say the least, I think. So, but the internet is certainly going to play the most important part in it.
And what about your personal preferences? For example, the artists you love, the best songs for, in your opinion?
Best bands, favorite songs. I love. Tell you what, the last person we were talking about, my favorite band, my first favorite band was Radiohead. This is probably, the main I'm saying this. We were talking about this upstairs, but I have lots. I really like stuff from all David Bowie, Echo and the Bunnymen, endless. And if you were trying to nail me down for a favorite song, I'd find it almost impossible, I think. But what you like?
I like The Clash, The Smiths, Jesus and Mary Chain, Velvet Underground.
You're missing something out here. You're missing something out.
And Bob Dylan. And I don't know, I think my favourite song would be Like a Rolling Stone by Bob Dylan.
Fair enough. He's a mad fan of Bob Dylan. Our drummer has this silly game that he plays when we're on tour because he gets quite bored. He tries to put the word ham, you know, like, into band names. So he'll be like, you know, like Ham Morrison or Jesus Ham Mary Chain. But what did he say? He said Bob. What did he say? No, Ham.
He said Bob Dilham, and I punched him right in the nose.
Yeah, he likes Bob Dylan so much, so that was a step too far. You can have a laugh, but not with Bob Dylan. It's all right, Larry. It's all right.
Blasphemy. Well, I actually think that's blasphemy. Yeah.
Do you look like Bob Dylan when he was young?
That's the kindest thing anyone's ever said to me. The fact, yeah, I've actually had £100,000 of corrective surgery, plastic surgery, to make me look this way. I used to be 5 foot tall and have ginger hair, and I said to the guy, "Make me look like Bob Dylan." Sorry.
So, thanks very much for your kindness, and see you next time.
Okay.